Hey there, this is Alex over at DuraLabel, and in this video I'm going to be doing a basic overview of our NFPA module that also includes an RTK module as well. If you're looking for something that'll go in depth a little more where you might be following along an SDS sheet to create your own custom NFPA label, that'll be available in the link down below where we go into it even further. Once the module is open, this is where we can select our label type. Like I mentioned, we do have the choice of NFPA as well as RTK, including both the color bar variant as well as the ratings with NFPA. For this demonstration, I'm primarily going to be using the NFPA option. Any changes that we are making will still affect any changes for the RTK color bar, as well as I'll show you guys a few little tips when using the RTK options as well to make sure that you do have the correct template selected. Once we have our label type selected, I'm going to click OK. If you ever click this and you weren't quite sure, or you do realize that you do need to make a change, that is something we are still able to do as well. In order to make that change, all you need to do in the top left-hand corner where there's an NFPA diamond, click on that. That's going to open up a drop-down for us. Then with this drop-down, we're just going to want to make sure we select the RTK option or the NFPA option, depending on what's needed. You'll see a quick live preview of what those changes will be. But again, we do have the ability to change the sizing and template later. I'll get into that as one of the last steps here, so that'll cover that. With NFPA selected, I'm just going to click off of it, and I'm going to click into this pencil icon where we can make any changes just so I have this menu up and ready. For this example, though, I am actually going to be using a different chemical instead of the default first record. You'll notice we do have over 1,700 chemical records already loaded into LabelForge Pro. For my needs, though, I do want to create a chlorine label, so I'm going to just type in chlorine and hit enter. This should change our label for us, and that way we can work with chlorine. You may notice when it comes to this, there are still 6 other options, so depending on what's needed, if it is a different type of chlorine, it does also include those options as well, so just make sure you do have the correct one selected. With our edit menu already open, this is where we can make change to the chemical name if that is something needed. We can also add a CAS number or make changes to it if that is going to be necessary, as well as change the signal word by clicking on the drop down. Since this is already following an SDS sheet, I won't need to make any changes to these since they're already going to be accurate as I need, but if that is something that's necessary from your side, go ahead and make those changes. When it comes to the ratings itself, use the plus or the minus to actually increase or decrease those values. They'll go from 0 all the way up to 4 depending on the severity of the rating. If any changes are needed to the specific ratings, such as the oxidizer message down below, click on the arrow drop down and make the appropriate selection. If any health hazards as well as organ hazards are needed to be adjusted, you can add those in as well through the same process like specific ratings. We'll click on that just to minimize it. I'll open health hazards and we can scroll through and add something that we may need. You'll notice that when we do add them in, it adds in at real time, so you always have a preview of what you're going to be printing out. If you are wanting to add in PPE symbols as well as comments, that can be done as well. Currently, you'll see we don't have any PPE symbols shown, but that is a setting that we can enable later. All you'll want to do is still make sure you have them selected as needed, and then they'll show up once we enable that setting. The same is going to be true for the comments as well. By default, there's nothing at least typed in, but you may notice that that setting currently isn't enabled, so you might not notice anything being typed out until we turn that on. In order to enable some of those settings, we'll go ahead and go into our settings menu where we can see there's a show PPE symbols option that when I have that selected, it does include them. There is also that show comments that was already on by default for us. So if I did type something in, then we could see those get added as well. Next, we'll want to make any template size changes that might be necessary. For me, I am going to be using these 4x6 NFPA labels for my Toro Max, but if you are changing it to a different size, you'll go into this label templates section, click on the drop down and select the appropriate size based on your needs. Like I mentioned, there are some things that I wanted to show for the RTK side of the module when it does come to the template as well. So in order to do that, in the top left corner, I'll click on that NFPA diamond again, and I'll make sure to select the RTK color bar option. That way I can show the differences in some of the template options. If the RTK labels that you have do include the NFPA diamond like this as well as the rating box, when you are looking at the templates options, you'll want to make sure that you are selecting one of the OD options. If you are just using a color bars option, such as this 4x3.5, you'll just want to make sure that you select the appropriate RTK file without the OD included at the end. Once you do have the appropriate template selected and you have all the information that you would like included on it, you'll be ready to print. I'll go ahead and go back over to my NFPA label that I want to print, go into these print settings and hit print. Hopefully you're able to learn a couple things about our NFPA module as well as the RTK features that it also includes. Again, if you're going to be following an SDS sheet to actually create your own labels for this, please see the video we'll have linked below that'll go more in depth over the actual module itself. And I hope you have a good rest of your day and thank you for watching.
Thanks for watching. For further assistance, visit our website and contact our team for your free lifetime support.